not done a webcast before. Sorry, I've not done one of these webcasts before. Just forget them. Hello everyone and welcome. What fabulous music to start with. We've all come together to give a loving farewell to a great man, John Clifford Percy Nanku, a man with many gifts and talents, a caring and generous man. He'd take anybody under his wing. They would describe himself as frugal, careful with his money. John was selective in what he bought, yet was generous with his children and grandchildren, a carefree man that you could never pin down, spontaneous and well-travelled. John would do anything for anyone and could be described as a big kid because everyone loved him. He had a big heart, a wise man, a lovely man. John left us on the 9th of April during his stay at Pinderfields Hospital. His loss has come as a devastating blow to all, but the memories he leaves behind are priceless. There is no denying today is a sad day, but it's also a day to celebrate a life well lived. And has he ever? John has done more in his one lifetime than many could do in 3. And though we're only small in numbers here in this room today due to circumstances beyond our control, the love and respect for John is immense, as his was for you, his dearly loved family, and not forgetting the many, many good friends made over the years. We all have a story to tell, and who better to begin John's than Martin. Martin.
Dad, I can't believe I'm having to do this. It was only 8 weeks since I skied with you last, on what would be your last ever ski run. The memories held by Kev, Jim and I are endless. We loved you for your never-ending stash of takeaway boxes, your need to only pack a flannel when travelling, your love of aperitivos, and how your DIY projects all would end up as a box job. We learned from you to value simple things in life over luxury, like home-cooked meals with good company in your favourite place. You wouldn't dream of spending £10 on a pair of jeans, yet your generosity to us was endless. You put others first, such as creating happy moments for Jim by arranging his regular sit-ski sessions as he watched his excitement and skied by his side with friends on the sunny mountain. We will take from you your example of living life to the maximum. We will never forget the phone call Kev received from your friends in Italy, reporting that you were emotional and required help. Little did we know you enjoyed various bottles of wine on the mountain at lunch, did a bar crawl, before skiing down and crashing into a load of rubbish bins at the bottom. The life and soul of a party, often spotted being held up crowd surfing over the bar, loved by all, no matter how young or old. Kev, James and myself and Kerry are so proud to call you our dad. Your little bush Renzo and Neve had the best granddad in the world. Thank you, Dad, for everything you've done for us. We are forever grateful and ensure your carefree, kind-hearted and energetic personality lives on through us. Love and laughter.
Thank you, Martin. John was born in Port Louis, Mauritius, on the 18th of September 1952 to parents Clifford and May Nanku, a younger brother to Eddie. He spent the early years of his childhood in his homeland surrounded by a large and loving family before moving to England in 1963, the young family basing themselves in London. And these are words from Denise, John's auntie. John has always been dear to my heart. When he was young, he lived with us in Port Louis because the Catholic school he attended was just across the road. They didn't wear uniform there, but my mum always described them and dressed them well, and I bought John a little briefcase to carry his books. The nuns at the school called him Doctor. One day, John skipped school, and one of the nuns saw him. She came over to the house and said, "Doctor is hiding behind the school gate." He never went very far. Every day after school, he would sit on the doorstep and wait for me to finish work, as he always knew I'd have sweets for him. He would see me and come running down the street. I was so sad when May, Clifford, Eddie and John left Mauritius to come to England. I had no idea that 3 years later I would join them. John and Eddie always spent their school holidays with me in Watford. And last year, without telling me, John booked us for a go to El Campello? Yeah, in Spain. You lucky things. He went to my flat, took out my things and put them into his ground floor flat. And he said, "When you come here again, you don't have to go up the stairs. You can stay in my flat." I miss my little John. Thank you, Denise. Leaving school at 16, John secured a role working for the government as a civil servant in London. He was a hard worker, but at the same time enjoyed the benefits of working flexi-time, where he managed to rack up a total of 52 annual leave days, plus the Queen's birthday. That was his favourite perk of the job. During his career, John made lifelong friends, especially with his work five-a-side football team. On behalf of John's colleagues, Paul Pinch, or Pinchy, also a member of the football team, has said, "John, Nanky, as he was affectionately called, was a major part of the department's five-a-side team, established around 1979 and continued into the early 2000s. John was a founder member. He was quick and had some lovely football skills. The team dominated the department's annual five-a-side sports day competition, winning it at least 9 times between 1981 to 96. When the team, known as Education Academicals, because we had about 1 O-level between us, didn't win, we were normally in the final. The team also won the London Civil Service indoor and outdoor competitions on a few occasions too. and represented London at the national five-a-side finals. Nanki was key to our success over the years. As he previously worked in statistics branch, he normally liked to keep an eye on how we were faring in competitions. Anyway, during one tournament, we asked him what we needed to do to qualify for the next round. Nanki's response was an absolute classic. He said, "We can afford to draw the next game, but we need to score more goals than them." This quote remains something that Nanki was always teased about over the years. Whilst we were all still playing football, we regularly went out for a curry at Christmas, and this continued after we stopped playing together. Nanki was always the focus of these gatherings, and we will continue them in his honour. He was a gentleman, lovely, kind and friendly, and would do anything for you. He will be sadly missed by all members of Education Academicals. Thank you, Paul. Now let us just rewind the clock a little. He met Teresa, known to the family as Wilma. According to them, she fancied John like crazy and thought he was so handsome. They married in 1973, welcoming the birth of their first son, Kevin, in 1977, followed by James a year later, and in 1982, Martin arrived, and their family was complete. John lived to travel, and every year during the summer holidays, he took his family to their holiday home in El Campello, Spain. Here they'd spend 3 or 6 weeks and were often joined by family and friends. And this is where John's huge amount of flexi time, annual leave, really came in handy. Days were spent playing on the beach with the children and late nights sat in a bar, enjoying a brandy until the early hours, overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. In his 40s, John was introduced to 2 of his favourite sports, golf and skiing. At 52, he retired after giving 35 years service in government. At this point, John put the accelerator pedal down on his love for travel, and even more fun began. As his youngest son Martin's skier career progressed, John also discovered a love for the sport, and around the age of 52, decided to live with Martin in the Italian ski resorts of Soese Deluxe. Have I said that right? I've been practicing. Where he enjoyed his first full ski season, quickly realising the area had a special place in his heart. Teresa joining him the following year, repeating these many times. He continued to travel the world and lived life to the absolute maximum with Teresa by his side, visiting destinations such as Thailand, enjoying a Norwegian cruise, and of course returning to their roots in Mauritius. Sadly, in 2013, his beloved Teresa passed away, which left a huge missing piece in his life. John tried his best to carry on and continue life as she would have wished, but found this difficult and at times suffered depression and low points. He found happiness in his companion Joyce, who stood by him both through the low and high points that followed. Together with Joyce, John continued his happy and carefree life and continued his love for travel, spending the winters in Italy and summers in Spain and Mauritius. On Christmas Day 2018, he was given the wonderful news that he was going to become a granddad again. John was delighted, and from that day forward, made the decision to relocate to Wakefield to be close to his new arrival. A week after the birth of his grandson, Renzo, in August 2019, John and his son Kevin began their new life and moved to Wakefield. His wish to be close to Renzo came true. He moved on to the same street, just 10 doors away. From that day forward, John gained a new best friend in his baby grandson, who he idolised, and spent every moment with, playing, enjoying bath times, and spending precious time as a family. His pride and love of Renzo was endless, and friends noticed how he brought a newfound happiness to his granddad's life. Ernest Hemingway wrote, "Every man's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how he lived his life that distinguishes one man from another. And it is how John lived his life that set him apart. A strong, decent, solid man, a gifted man, a good and thoughtful man. John's love for life shone, as did his love for those he cared about. He will be sorely missed, never forgotten, forever loved. And now the time has come for us to say our farewells. Please stand for the committal if you are able. John, the time has come for us to let you go. We do this with great sadness. We rejoice that we knew you. We are glad that we saw your face and walked the path of life with you. Your character, your wisdom, your kindness and depth of humanity, we commit to our memories. Your love and friendship, we commit to our hearts. With love, with tenderness, with reverence, we gently say farewell. Your work is done. Be at peace. Please take a seat. There are no words anyone can say to soften the blow when we face with the loss of someone who was loved and respected so much and who played such a special part in all your lives. The hardest part of losing that special someone isn't having to say goodbye, but rather learning to live without them, always trying to fill the void, the emptiness that's left inside when they go. John lived with an infectious enthusiasm, still making puns and still generous, effortlessly himself, who he was and what he stood for, and he was loved for that. His finest quality was his patience and inherent ability to listen, to absorb and to offer a point of view based on a quiet measure of wisdom. None of us know how much time we have on this earth. What is left in the end are our actions, the memories we leave behind, and how we've made people feel. What we would like to leave behind is people to remember us with love. John succeeded. The days will always be brighter because he existed. Let us be thankful for his life, for the love and laughter he gave, and for those wonderful friendships he sustained. An incredible man, the man known to you all as John Clifford Percy Nanku. To bring our service to a close, I'll leave you with this thought from Dr. Seuss. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.